just briefly how I got into it. There was a doctor who was subcontracted through Irvine Scientific, the producer of shipping medium and freezing medium, and they produce a lot of stuff. Um, he enlisted a bunch of us donors to, because his goal was to improve the survivability of sperm in the shipping process. Now, this industry was evolved from animal breeding, to be honest. You know, if people had a champion bull or a horse or dog or whatever, there was a way to ship their semen. And then, of course, I mean, humans are an animal, so you can do it with humans as well. Um, but because it doesn't make much money and there's not a whole lot of demand, there isn't a whole lot invested into it. So it's kind of hard to find the supplies. Now, I make my own shippers. This is you can get almost all of this stuff from Uline. All right, Uline, the company. And this is just one of their 8x6x4 shippers. I think it costs a couple bucks if you get a large number of them. I have some padding, right? I'll talk about why that's important. There's an ice pack. You can get those ice packs from Uline. You got some baggies, and then you can get these little vials from Uline as well. Okay. I like to get these smoke tinted ones because light is bad for sperm.
Okay.
All right. So, but the key, the material is this stuff. Okay. It's called shipping medium. Okay. So, or refrigeration medium. So the key is this stuff is not for freezing, and you cannot freeze it, nor can you put it next to the ice pack, which is why you put the pad in there. You have to have a buffer. You're technically just chilling this stuff, and you don't. The sweet spot is 45 to 50 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this is the stuff that costs the money. You know, the ice pack, this stuff. I think I invest $5 in this stuff if you get it in bulk, but this is $50.
Okay.
All right. There's the only place that you can get it is donorhomedelivery.com right now in the US. All the other places that used to sell this stuff went under. And so that's why it's so expensive. I typically have recipients. Now, I don't do as much shipping because it's a lot of work and the timing has to be exact. I mean, you have to ship on peak day and it arrived the morning of her ovulation. Too late is bad, too early is bad. Ship sperm do not have the lifespan that a regular fresh sperm has. They're dead within 36 hours or so. Okay. So it's very important to get the timing right. And to be honest, I find most women are not disciplined enough to do it correctly. And until they can, I don't really get too involved with shipping with them because it takes a really disciplined woman to do this and a really disciplined man. But you know, the stuff here, there's a process. You need to bring the shipping, the refrigeration medium and the ejaculate to the same temperature before you mix them. It's sort of like goldfish when you get new goldfish and you put them in the aquarium and leave them in the bag until they adjust. It's the same basic concept. If you just dump them right in, the temperature will shock them, and then they'll die.
So just a question here. So what is this called?
This
Yeah.
is called refrigeration medium.
Okay.
Okay, and it's different than freezing medium. Freezing medium will not be used for shipping, and shipping medium will not be used for the cryogenic process.
So is it mixed with the sperm?
You are going to mix this with the sperm.
Okay.
Okay. So when the woman gets this vial, it's going to be the ejaculate plus this.
Okay.
And for the woman, it's going to seem like there's just a ton of this stuff because you're doubling. You need to have roughly the same amount of ejaculate to the refrigeration medium. And so, you know, she probably will have to inseminate in 2 rounds. Now, you cannot store shipping. Once you thaw this stuff, you cannot refreeze it. So once it's thawed, you have to use it. Okay. And then the other key component of this is On the other end, when the woman gets it, she cannot save it for later. She cannot put it in the fridge. She needs to inseminate immediately. All
Okay.
right. Sperm are not designed to live outside of the human body. And you want to minimize the amount of time that it spends in the shipper. All right. Which is why you overnight it. And that's why it can be a little pricey. I mean, to overnight from, here to California, it's probably $150. So this will weigh just less than a pound.
Okay.
And you can't ship internationally. Once upon a time, we used to be able to, but customs will flag this, and it's going to sit in somebody's office for a couple days before they inspect it, and it's going to die. All right, so you
So
can't ship it.
is there specific way you ship it in FedEx or something? Is it like express post or what was it?
Yes, yeah. So the recipient, this is how I work it. The recipient and I never exchange money because I don't take money for my donations.
Okay.
She will order this stuff from donor home delivery,
Okay.
have it sent to me. I will
Okay.
store it in my freezer until she's ready.
Okay.
Right. Then when the time comes, she'll produce, given all the specs that I provide on the package and where it's being shipped from and etc. She will then produce a prepaid label, mail that or email that to me, message it. I'll print it off. I just simply walk into the FedEx, or if I generally recommend FedEx, but UPS is good now. And I just pass it off to them. Sometimes they might ask what it's in there, but I mean, usually I just say something like chicken eggs or something like that. Because if they flag that it's human fluids, sometimes that can send flags up. There's nothing illegal about this, but yeah, that's the rundown on shipping. Now, it's also very important, like the baggie, you never know what's gonna happen. So I double bag my vials, and typically it'll be two of those vials. You want to minimize the amount of air in those things because air is bad for sperm.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, so sometimes I produce two vials, and then they'll get both of them. She should inseminate immediately upon getting it. She should be disciplined enough to be there when they arrive in the morning. It can't sit around on some hot doorstep all day long because the temperature is going to skyrocket and they're going to die, right? With every passing moment, sperm will die in this. So you want to minimize time in the shipper.
I'm sure this information is going to be very useful to so many people because I'm sure half of the people don't know this. As shipping is very complicated.
Yeah, I will say this about it. There's only a 10 to 15% chance of success. That is the harsh reality, because these sperms spend the first 14 to 24 hours in the shipper, whereas they would normally be inside of a woman swimming around trying to find an egg, right?
Yeah.
So there's only 10 to 15% chance of success, whereas fresh AI is going to be probably 25%, give or take 5%, depending on the woman's fertility ratings, right?
Okay.
So shipping, that's why I want to maximize my odds, because it's a lot of work. By the time you do this, prep it all, get it to the right temp, pack it correctly, take it to FedEx. And I got to drive 5-10 minutes to get to FedEx. I've got an hour invested in that. And then we're crossing our fingers, hoping that FedEx comes through with this for us and doesn't lose it.
Yeah.
Because nothing is more panicked than a package riding around on a FedEx truck that you're trying to run down because you need it ASAP.
Okay, I think that was a pretty good explanation. So, and we don't no longer have any questions. So we're good.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe.